Hi, welcome to China Now. Here we offer you a glimpse of China at the moment. In the past week, the whole of China was covered in black and white to mourn the loss of the elder. Jiang Zemin, the president of China from 1993 to 2003, passed away on 30th November at the age of 96. In addition to state funeral and memorial service, many people paid floral tribute across the country spontaneously. Collective expression of grief, especially one of political nature, is rare because unanimous approval from the public is next to impossible. Only those who have done truly great things will be fondly remembered. And Jiang will be remembered for many things. He implemented Deng Xiaoping's reform, kept China open. He transformed it into the world's factory, thereby paving the way for its economic ascent. He cemented China's hard power by reforming the military and insisting on developing key technologies ourselves. Strategic industries, including aviation, electronics, and energy, have benefited tremendously from his policies. And we shouldn't forget that when he took over the reins, China was confronted by many challenges: soaring inflation at home and serious isolation abroad. But when he left office, China was tightly integrated with the world's economy and on track to become a global power. So, in a nutshell, he changed China in many ways ordinary people could feel. As someone who grew up in the 90s, I wasn't so surprised to find out a bit many years later that he was the one who brought Chinese audience the film Titanic with minimal censorship. Apparently, allowing us to see some capitalistic breasts would not corrupt our minds. That's called having faith in people. I mean, I knew he was not the rigid figure, not your stereotypical Soviet-trained technocrat with a stiff upper lip. He was flexible, charismatic, and personal. Once faced with an angry crowd of student protesters in Shanghai, he diffused the tension gracefully by quoting Abraham Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, promising a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Later in his career, his diplomatic side became increasingly visible when he sang Elvis Presley, Pavarotti, and Beijing opera, when he played piano, ukulele, and Hawaiian guitar, and when he recited Pushkin, Goethe, and Shakespeare on different occasions with foreign dignitaries, all with the purpose of bridging differences and bringing hearts closer. What really struck me as unexpected was his prediction of foreign chokehold on China's microchips industry and calling for self-reliance more than a decade before China and the United States entered tech rivalry. That was when Beijing Olympics made us all believe in one world, one dream. Forgive us for being too young, too simple, sometimes naive. Those were his famous words when he lectured reporters from Hong Kong to raise their level of knowledge, because it was not enough to run the fastest to cover breaking news. You know what? He was right. If you reflect upon it, especially as journalism copes with this post-truth era. But for many, many years, that infamous rant was widely mocked by the internet generation. And arguably, he was one of the most mimified political figures on earth. Thanks to Chinese internet culture, people make coded, but not so secret references to Jiang. For example, the word he on its own could only mean him. And if you leave a one-worded message, go, which is a grammatical indicator of a conditional sentence, people will reply a thread of posts that collectively form a line from his favorite poem, 苟利国家生死以, which means something similar to the Latin motto non sibi sed patriae, not for self, but for country. And here comes the best part. He knew of our little games, and he was cool with it. He said, let the young people have fun. And that, right there, was the reason he was loved. In case anyone who didn't know, for years, internet users have been staging this secret competition of longevity among very important people of the world, including Queen Elizabeth, President Carter, Soviet leader Gorbachev, Secretary Kissinger, and of course, President Jiang Zemin from Team China. Chinese netizens would flood the web pages that mention his name with +1s in the hope of prolonging his life by one more second. This started off as an inside joke, but as people become more and more sincere as time went by, it had evolved into a well-wishing ritual. Now that he has fought a good fight and finished the race, it's our turn to bid farewell to someone who defined an era. Certainly, the Chinese population could relate emotionally to Britain's grief following the death of the late Queen in September. Strangely, it's occasions like this that remind us not of our differences, but of the commonality we share as the human race.